Getting started here with another cast of Inner Sphere Coalition Season 5. This is a Week 3 match between the Sorenson Sabers and NAFF slash Belligerent Bortles. This is Division G, the bottom division. And this is an interesting match to me personally because I used to play on Sorenson Sabers, and Matillis also used to play on Swords and Sabers, and Matillis is a team lead for NAFF. So after Swords and Sabers, doing a comp season with them, I moved back to playing with Smoke Adders, which was my unit and main team, and Matillis went, and I don't know if he founded NAFF, but he is a team lead on NAFF, and I think he founded it. Not sure on that. So it's a little bit of well, we're all involved in this Swords and Sabers team that did exist during the Trials of Combat Trials of Combat? No, what was the league called? Tournament of Stars this past summer. So, yeah, a little bit of an interesting match to me personally, and probably to both these teams. Okay, we're getting to drop one here. Drop one is 250 tons for a 6v6, and it's Inner Sphere mechs only, and it's a 3-cap Conquest. Now this is Crimson Straits. There's been some changes to this map since I last played it, and many of you maybe as well. So have been moved around, and the spawns have been moved around. Now we're coming up here with Team 2 looking at NAFF. They are bringing 2 Centurion C9Ds, so those are going to be the LBX5 build of some sort. Yeah, LBX5 medium lasers, probably same thing on the second mech. Yes. So it's got an insanely high cooldown for those LBX5s, giving a rapid rate of fire for good DPS with some range. Crusader Crawl, that is going to be a machine gun build, heavy machine gun SRM6 with Artemis. They're backing that up with Javelin machine gun variant, also going to be heavy machine guns. Yes, Flamers. Okay, interesting. Usually you see small pulse on there, sometimes medium lasers or medium pulse. I've seen a team try to do light PPC on that, although that's a lot of weight. So Flamers is a little bit of an interesting choice there. Then we have a Flea, small pulse. Yep, he's going for Theta right off the hop. Now that's the interesting thing, is that the cap points here, Gamma, Kappa, Theta. Theta is way off in the middle of nowhere. And so a little bit interesting to see a team go for that. And this Firestar is going to be small pulse. Don't really have time to check builds, I don't think. Swords and Sabers getting up top on the upper platform. Good, strong position, but there's no cap point there anymore. Thunderbolt 5S, what is the build on that? Snubnose PPC, small pulse laser, so definitely Brawl. Single Snubnose, so not a lot of poke on that. Elfcat's running Javelin, also going to be heavy machine gun, small pulse, standard build. We have Shy Archer also doing the same thing, or Shay Archer. I don't know. Hunchback 4P, small pulse. Okay, so Disco back. Another Javelin, I'm going to assume that's also heavy machine gun. And then Trout over here has a Phoenix Hawk with small pulse. So the range advantage here is to NAFF with those LBX5 Centurions, but both teams are looking to brawl for the most part. So Sabers have a cap deficit right now, with Theta having been taken by NAFF, and NAFF is now going for Gamma. So they're looking at a 3-cap situation here. Sabers will have to find and make a push, and right now they're sending Elfcat off to cap by himself, it looks like. It's a dangerous, risky move, but nobody's going to be waiting to ambush him there. So they will have that cap. They're currently losing Gamma to a pair of mechs. Yes. Yeah, Matillis coming back from Theta is going to assist at Gamma. So it's these mechs spread out over at the island and in the water with the range. And It's very difficult to push because they are so spread. Um, I mean, if you push the one guy, the other's 300-400 meters away. You get legged on the way there. Now the water does. We do have a little bit of a fight here. I don't think anything serious is going to come out of this. The two mechs bailed in opposite directions, but the fire starter, he went through the tunnel, and the Sabers dropping on him are not going to catch him here. Wait, no, a little bit of damage from Elfcat. Elfcats didn't go all the way to Theta, I suppose. It is a three-trap situation here. Hank Reardon's just sitting up top. I wonder if he's disconnected or something. Yeah, that looks disconnected. Uh-oh. So Swords and Sabers, not only do they have to make a difficult push due to the cap situation, they also are missing their biggest mech.
We have Gamma.
Yeah, just a beautiful spread here from NAFF. Crusader's kind of way back there, seeing as it's Brawl mech. Maybe it should be a little bit closer up. But Centurions, they're standing far enough apart that they'll start spreading as soon as a push occurs. So they shouldn't be ending up holding hands and going down together. So Sabers, they need to figure it out, and maybe Hank Reardon will come back if they delay. I mean, this is just rock in a hard place right now. So they need to not bleed percentages before the fight starts. I mean, they already have all the scouting information they need. They just need their Thunderbolt to come back and then find a push angle, which, well, there's a couple different push angles to the island. So one of them is along this this ferry ford, or I don't know what exactly you would call it. It gives a little bit of cover, a short gap. Again, having your legs under the water submerged, it does provide some armor damage resistance, and then you can push up over the hill. But Centurions have a fair bit of speed to relocate, and they're standing with a wide gap already. Sabers have kept their percentages high, though. Alternative push locations just go straight into the water. You either come out the tunnel and then push into the water, or you go over where the old Theta used to be located, which is now this barren, vacant lot, and you just push out into the water, and you just go for it, and water protects their legs, and hopefully you make it. That's another push path. Third one, yeah, I guess you could try to sneak down this ramp. It's a little bit exposed. You'd probably take a lot of fire. Legs would be exposed, or you're dropping and potentially taking leg damage. Sabers have now the caps back in their favor, so they have time. They have time. Hank Reardon's moving. He's back. He's taking some fire, though. He's going to go tunnel. And looks like NAFF has moved up. They're getting a little bit nervous now. So maybe a little bit of pick will occur here between the lights. They're just feeling each other out. They're not nobody's engaging, but they're making sure they're not isolated. Yeah, NAFF is definitely moving up now. There has been a call made. I guess with Theta and Gamma being flipped, they feel they have to make the push. And their mechs are going to be, in a brawl, their mechs are going to be disadvantaged. If they could put one of the Centurions up top on the platform, maybe, or maybe even both of them, and then buffer with the Crusader and the lights, I think Sabers have, this is maybe as good as it's going to get for them if they want to make that push. I mean, they're all grouped up together. NAFF has moved into a close range distance. Yeah, now they're backing up. NAFF's realized that they are way too close, and they are disengaging. But NAFF will have to find another cap. Caps are in the favor of NAFF currently, but Swords and Sabers have a 2-cap to 1 advantage right now. Now, NAFF has sent a player to go get Theta, and another one's feeling around Gamma. Gamma is not going to be something they can take, but they can take Theta. Now, Swords and Sabers could push when they see that a mech steps on Theta. They know they have the advantage here. 5v, it's a 5 mechs to 6 mech type situation. But they're not making that push yet. They're still, they're not going to win any trades. You don't want to be peeking here. You know you have the mech advantage, and you know the team is relatively close. So, the situation's not going to get better. They're sending instead 2-leg mechs to go and try and grab Theta. So, sure. I mean, they'd rather be playing the Caps, trying to get a pick. Okay, Phoenix Hawk Javelin. Yeah, that would have been capable of taking a fight had there been something there. But the Theta's just so far off to the side that by the time you get there, the target's gone. And then you sent 2 mechs to Theta, so now you're facing a situation where NAFF has 6 mechs potentially for a push, and Sorenson and Sabers only have 4 to receive. And you're missing the Phoenix Hawk, which is one of your bigger mechs. Well, I don't know. I mean, okay, here they come. NAFF is pushing. They've seen that there are mechs on Theta. They are taking advantage of the mech advantage here. Hank Reardon's the primary target. Thunderbolts is going to go down relatively fast, I expect. Usually you see legs getting shot here. They are not focusing legs. Interesting. So, yeah, chaotic brawl. All the lights are in there, and the mechs from Theta are starting to come back now, but they're only going to show up once this fight's already mostly over. Top Dog is doing an amazing job staying alive there with Hank Reardon, 23%, and he finally goes down to a light engine kill. Shea Archer not moving much, low percentage. It looks like he still has both legs, though. They're trying to pick out the Centurion. Luminous here, I believe, is the primary call target. They need to get that Crusader down. The Crusader's just standing still, putting out that 10 heavy machine gun fire. That is going to be an amazing amount of DPS. This is definitely going not in Sorenson Sabers' favor, as you'd expect in a 4v6 type situation. Now, the Phoenix Hawk is showing up alone. No, he needs to be backing off, playing with the Javelin, trying to kite out these mechs. Javelin has been legged, I think, from Cranset. Trout is definitely trying to pick off the remaining leg here. Trout's been legged, so the Phoenix Hawk is going to go down from Sorenson Sabers. It's all left to Elfcat. He is, well, there we go. It's 4 relatively healthy mechs versus 1 Javelin. And the Flea and the Firestarter are going to have the speed to run down that Javelin. So, yeah, a bit of a slow play situation due to the 3-cap, third cap being so far off to the side. You saw some interesting tactical play revolving around that. But ultimately, this drop, I mean, Elfcat, maybe he's capable of a miracle. No, he's legged. So, that's it. This drop has gone the way of NAFF, and it is interesting tactical play that occurred. So that's good to see from this map. Firestarter, both legs are open. Crawl is absolutely fresh. You can't leave that mech alone in a brawl. Centurion nearly legged from Luminous. 74% looks healthy, but looking at that paper doll, we know he's not. I think leaving the Crusader alive in that brawl for that length of time unfocused was possibly the biggest mistake, but it was a 4v6 for the Sabers. You don't, even with the brawl advantage versus the Centurions, which are more of a ranged poking mech, well, not a traitor, but DPS mech, it's still, it's a 6v4. I mean, you know. Well, so here we go, run through the damage quick. Crusader, unsurprisingly, 440. I thought it might be higher. 2 kills. Quisteria comes up big with 3 kills and 340 damage. Centurion got some good poke in from Luminous. Rest of the team, lower damage. You know, either they got killed or they're running the Cap Fleet, which wasn't in the fight for a lot of the time. On the Saber side, the 2 mechs that were, well, Hank Reardon got focused. He went down early there. The Trout, the Phoenix Hawk, kind of came back to the fight. Picked up, yeah, just a little bit of damage, kind of going in alone. Javelins had the majority of the damage for the Sabers. Okay, so yeah, disconnect. That's unfortunate, but hopefully that doesn't continue. Last week, the match I was casting between Sabers and who was their opponent? Oxy, I believe, Hyper Oxy, and there were like 3 disconnects in 5 drops. It was insane. Okay, so we're moving on to a different map. I'm going to throw up a map strat for this, Alpine Peaks. This is a classic long-range comp match. We've got 360 tons here. Um, so we're expecting, wow, they're dropping only 345, so they are 15 tons light. That might indicate something to do with their strat, or maybe it's mech selection. All right, Alpine Peaks, Conquest, 3 cap. So what we've got here is somewhat early access to Kappa for Team 2, which is important. And Kappa is a very difficult cap to reflip once it's been taken because it's so wide out in the open. And then Team 1 has Epsilon. Epsilon's a little bit better protected, so it's more possible to contest that come like the mid game if teams are feeling it. There are ways to get Epsilon with a little bit of cover, sort of. Sigma is going to be the contested cap, though, in this setup. And Sigma is going to be probably the key, unless if teams decide to go with a brawling playstyle. So, quick rundown on strats, basic strats. What you end up seeing is Team 1, they usually push some mechs behind, up on the hill, play range, or they might play on this ridge line as well. There is a sniper hole up in the well, it's available to both teams up in Indian 9 and has very good control over Kappa. So we might see that with Team 2 sending a mech from Alpha Lance up the back of the mountain to take it, or Team 1 could go for it. And we're just getting right into the drop here, but I'm just going to show out quick that Team 2, they can play around Theta. Theta is not a legal cap, you can't take it, but you still might have mechs around that area kind of contesting. But the Sigma is going to be probably the big fight. Okay, teams are coming in. Yeah, these guys, they were ready to play today, so didn't have a whole lot of analyst time. So 360 tons, we are seeing Sorenson Sabers here. Blue team, we have Orions. That is interesting. So what is this, LRMs or? Yes, it is. It's LRMs. Ah, they had a crash. Well, okay, we'll wait for a player to come back. I've got a significant delay on this stream, so hopefully nobody gets an advantage out of seeing things. And I'm just going to run through. While the teams are waiting for the player to reconnect, I'm going to run through some of these play locations. So this is the cap, I believe is the name of this cap. Shoot. Yeah, this is cap, I'm pretty sure. So this is in the open, as you can see. There's a big, long, quite a good sight line down looking at it. But in the early game, it's out of range of those ISE or large lasers. So you can quickly try and sneak it early, and then anyone who tries to ever get it again, they end up getting hit by weapons fire. Very difficult cap to get once teams are set up. And then over here we have Epsilon for Team 2's easier access cap. It's also somewhat in the open. There's a hill nearby. You can kind of juke on and off the cap a little bit. You don't have to run through the open as much as a light mech to try and get it. This ridge line does allow for the Team 2 side to shoot down on that cap. Team 1 can put a big boy behind this and do range trading from here while guarding the cap. This is Theta. Theta's off limits, so we aren't going to talk about that other than teams. Please don't step in that accidentally. I want to see a clean match here, not something that gets messed up by some little glitch by just the cap being in a combat zone and somebody doesn't get out in time. This is the Sigma cap. Everyone's going to be contesting around this. I anticipate it has cover for light mechs. You can tuck in behind this tank, try to grab it while other team tries to shoot you or whatever. There's some cover on the cap itself, and even approaching it because of the terrain, you can kind of keep a mech partially hidden on the approach in or sitting nearby to either guard it or try to not take damage and then hide in there until, okay, they're going to go for redrop. So yeah, Sigma's a contested cap on this, generally speaking. You've got range positions up here that you never use in quick play that are very important in comp. Mechs can climb these mountains. They do a lot of sliding down on them, but with jump jets or hill climb, you can get some interesting positions up here that overwatch that cap pretty well. Oh yeah, so team has to take a cap. Okay, and then you get a lot of just stalkers sitting on mountains typically. Now, these teams might play a different style, but that's what you generally see on this map, and it's not a well-known, commonly played map in quick play. It's somewhat unpopular, low rotation, but in comp, it could be an interesting blue saber light fight. Typically, you don't see those light fight, the blue saber skirmishing type stuff played out in quick play quite the same way as you'll see in competitive play. So yeah, the mountain up here, good range position, has a good overwatch of the cap point. I think it's Kappa, not 100%. And just overall good map control, but the IS large lasers, ER large lasers, do not have quite the same range as clan ER large lasers, so these mechs might be playing a little bit closer up than they would in, say, a World Championship or Martial Olympiads type game. Now we're just waiting for the last two Sabers to end up killing themselves. Hopefully their mechs are capable of doing so. I hope they have the heat to destroy themselves. They maybe don't. Uh-oh. See, it's fun in games to kill your teammates, but then if it's the guy who can't overheat, who's the last survivor, things get awkward. Now he's trying to run off the map. There's a mountain he has to climb. I don't know if he's going to succeed, and hopefully neither team's watching the stream, because then they will be able to figure out some of this intel as to what mechs were being used. I do have a 7-minute delay today, so hopefully that's long enough. But with these redrops taking time, it's gonna be up to the team to be playing more honorably. Okay, it looks like he did make it out of bounds. So this should be over in a couple seconds. There we go. And the game finally ends, and we can do the redrop. Alright, we'll just pop the map strap back up here while we're waiting for the teams to reset. Shouldn't take long. I don't think they're going to change drop decks. Maybe they have to swap a player, though, because of the disconnect. So, yeah, I was talking, it is Kappa. Kappa's the early cap for Team 2, and then it's very hard for Team 1 to get, or if Team 2 doesn't get it early, it can be very difficult for Team 2 to re-get it, just because the sight line's onto it. Epsilon, Team 1 gets early access cap to it, but it can be contested later on in the game because there's more cover around it than the Kappa cap. Sigma is going to be the one that both teams are going to be fighting over. Typically, you see teams just do make a hard push towards it with at least some of their mechs early to try and either take or contest it. But we'll see how these teams play out. Yeah. Looks like... Well, we have a re-ready up on Team 1. We're waiting for Team 2 to re-ready. Okay, teams are locked, so we'll see them launching right shortly here. Okay. Yeah, looks like players are coming in, so no disconnects this time, I hope. Where were we? We were looking at mechs, and we were seeing that they have ravens. Those are going to be narc ravens. Catapult, archer, Orion, catapult. So yes, it is an LRM drop. Check out these builds. Two LRM-15s. So that's not that much. Two LRM-15s. They got backup lasers on these. Three LRM-10s, and the archer has three LRM-15s with Artemis. Okay, so lots of LRMs, not quite max LRM. They do have backup weaponry, pair of narkers with ER mediums on one, ER smalls on the other. So just a single narc on them. So if there is AMS on the side of NAFF, it could really cut down on the narcs actually connecting. But they do have backup narc mechs, so even if they lose one, oh, can't click on that guy, he's so fast. Flea 17, it's going to be small lasers, right? Or is he going to be running ER mediums on this map? Mead Pulse, small laser, he's getting early cap. He's got a pair of narkers coming to him, but they have a combined 3 ER Mead, 3 small lasers. They are actually undergunned in that situation, but they will have LRMs backing them up. And the rest of NAFF is setting up long range. We have Catapult Jester, what is this, ER large, 5 ER large. Stalker 5, so that's going to be 6 ER large. The Stalker 5S. Corsair, 2 Gauss, 3 ER large. Yeah, typical trader mechs. And then you get this Panther, 2 ER PPCs. See, that's something you see on Alpine Peaks, and I think only Alpine Peaks, is the light mechs carrying long-range weaponry, dedicated trader mechs. And yeah, just the wide openness of this map does lend itself toward that. We have a light Gauss 3 ER large champion going up for this mountaintop position. No jump jets on him, but I believe he can still climb up there. So this is going to be LRMs versus ER large, and in that matchup, I actually prefer the ER large. And it's really quite simple. LRMs, they claim they're a long-range weapon system, but in reality, they do not fare well at extreme range. And this is an extreme range trading map. LRMs cap out with a maximum range of around 1,000 meters. Beyond that, they do 0 damage. So ER larges have a maximum or optimal range of 800 meters, but they still deal damage out to like 1,500, 1,600 meters. They even deal good damage out to like 1,300 meters. So you can just sit outside of the range of the LRMs with your ER larges and farm out the mechs trying to lurm you. So we'll see whether Sorenson Sabers can move their LRM mechs up closer into actually getting into range, that's the challenge with the LRMs on this particular map in this particular style drop. Now, NAFF is going for the back cap on Epsilon with the Flea, so they are going to have the 2-to-1 cap advantage here. They did not make an attempt to contest Sigma, and instead they went to try and grab Epsilon there with their Flea while also having the champion potentially rotate around to cover it. We have some early trades here. I don't know whether or not NAFF knows what Sorenson Sabers are doing. Panther might be in range. He's putting out some ER peeps, and he's landing some good damage on Shea Archers, who's standing still because we have another disconnect. Yes, we do. Another disconnect, and that Archer's getting rear shot while disconnected. So this is not Sorenson Sabers being foiled by poor internet connections right now. So that you can't really wait for him to come back. Even if he comes back, it's half a mech. They need to make a move to find some damage, get some kills, despite having a disconnect here. So the Ravens are holding back with the LRM mechs, who are not really in range. Okay, Shea Archer's back. He's moving his mech around, but yeah, he's half the mech he used to be, and oh boy, that's rough. The Flea is getting LRM'd. Most of his LRMs are not going to be connecting on the Flea unless he's got Wi-Fi, which I don't think he does. He's found what appears to be hard cover as well. He's not standing on Theta. Don't stand on Theta. Okay, he's getting away from Theta. Good. We have some LRMs going out at the Stalker. Stalker 5S, that's a bigger target. He cannot run when those alarms are coming at him, and there is no AMS on NAF's side. Some teams will hedge their bets taking some AMS on this map. personally, you can just outrange LRMs, but you have to know that they're LRMs, and they did not know when they were peeking that Stalker, I guess, because he's now down to 50%, and he's got an open side torso. He must have been narked, because those alarms are still coming in. There's no UAV above him. Wow, 30%, 20, and dead. Wow. Nicely done. Sabers pick up the first kill here. Now they need to find another kill and get back control of this Epsilon cap, which they are looking at it with their narkers, but you don't want to lose the narkers either. Corsair 7A. Now, it's known for having 4 AMS hardpoints. There's only 2 mechs in the game with 4 AMS hardpoints. The Corsair is one of them, Piranha's the other. And he does not have AMS on his mech, which, why would you? Why would anyone play LRMs? And here are the LRMs. Them come in. This is going to be extreme range. I don't think they're going to be connecting. No, they are not. Okay. They're trying to LRM the Flea. The Flea's got a spot behind the Epsilon cap. He is hiding for his life. I don't know if he's narked. The way he's behaving, I suspect that he is. Raven's also trying to contribute a little bit of poke in there with some lasers. Oh, Ragfu got a Gauss shot there. So he'll have an open side torso probably, assuming that Corsair's aim was true. Yes, it is. So he can't really do that again. The Corsair should be a primary target here because you need to keep those Narc Ravens alive, at least one of them. Shea Archer did go down. He only had half his mech to begin with, so disconnects are rather unfortunate. Catapult with an open side torso as well. Might be XL. I'm guessing light engine because they are not carrying significant amounts of firepower. Yeah, so what Luminous is doing here is the correct thing. He is backing up to cover the Epsilon cap from outside of LRM range. So he's going to just try and outrange the LRMs with his Gauss ER large while being able to cover one of the caps, let the cap take up, make Sorenson Sabers desperate, and force him to make the push. Panther is harassing. He's going to get some back shots likely from that position. Now he's got a narker coming for him. Raifu with that open side torso is going... Sorry, Rafu. I keep pronouncing it wrong. He's looking for a narc here, but the Panthers spotted him coming and is bailing out. The action is definitely focused here around the Epsilon cap. The fleet is bailing out, but taking that cap is going to be hard because the Corsair is going to be able to cover it. So somebody's going to have to go for it. The Trout is taking a significant amount of damage here. Open leg. You do not want to lose those narkers, but you also don't want to lose the LRM boats. They only have the 3 LRM boats remaining, and one of them is halved. Oh, the Panthers around Theta. Whoa, he took Theta. That is a mistake. Sorenson Sabers actually only need to survive now, and they will win this match because NAFF has taken an incorrect cap. I'm assuming he just accidentally stepped on it, Theta being kind of just in the middle of the map, and you step on that for too long, and then you end up potentially losing a cap. So now that an incorrect cap has been taken by NAFF, they have to kill all the Sorenson Sabers before the game ends. No matter the result of the game end, if any of the Sorenson Sabers are still alive, NAFF loses. If NAFF wins on caps, they lose due to having taken an incorrect cap. If the game times out, and like any condition, they have to kill every single Sorenson Sabers mech now, or they lose the game. And these Ravens should just be running for their lives. Matilus has been caught; he's legged. And he's going to die here. And Ravens, if they still have their legs, they should just be running. Because as long as one of these mechs is alive, and there are a lot of corners on this map you could go hide in, as long as one of the Sorenson Sabers is alive, this game is a win for the Sorenson Sabers. And NAFF has a very little amount of time to get the kills here because they have a 3 cap ticking in their favor, which is working against them. This Corsair is in the open. He's in LRM range, taking light damage. Legs are taking severe damage. Open leg. Might not have maximum leg armor on that mech, and he's legged. But yeah, this is the only reason why NAFF is making these moves is because they're desperate to get those kills. And if they were not desperate to get those kills because of the fated cap having been accidentally taken, I really favored their position. But now, with both their lights dead, having tried to get legs off of Sorenson Sabers lights or whatever they're doing, and then the rest of their team getting desperate, and they're not set up to push. This is going to go Swords and Sabers' way. I'm pretty confident. There's only 100 cap points left for NAFF before Swords and Sabers win. Once that 750 goes for Team 2 in the red there, Swords and Sabers, if they have one mech alive, they win this game. So we have the catapult in on the Raven. Rafu, he needs to be running and hiding. I don't know if they're aware of the situation, fully what it entails here. They are definitely trying to hide. No, catapult goes down. He does not get the kill. If he got 1 or 2 kills, and these are very wounded mechs on Swords and Sabers. So it's definitely doable to pick up some quick kills if you get that angle, but they're hiding behind this hills, trying to stay alive. There's only one mech left coming for him. It's a champion. He's in the open. He's taking lerms, and he needs to pick up, well, he's got like 10 seconds to pick up 5 kills. It does not happen. His weapons do not cycle fast enough, even if everybody was standing in front of him powered down. This has gone the way of Swords and Sabers on a cap win. Not their cap win, but the opposing team cap win. NAFF loses with 750 caps taken because of the Theta cap. We have seen it. We have seen it happen, and this is a rulebook loss. So, yeah, unlucky. Don't know what happened around Theta. It was probably an accidental step on there trying to get cover and just stood on there for a couple seconds too long. And that is the deciding factor in this match. So we're looking at the damage here. Damage kind of doesn't matter, kind of does. Jimmy's coming up with a 900 damage, 2 kills, 605 match score. That's a lot of components destroyed. Shea Archer, I mean, he was disconnected, got picked off from behind. The Ravens, they were narking, so don't look at their damage. It's the narcs that landed that mattered for them. Hetman and Elfcat each have 500 and some kills. Luminous, he was doing good with that Corsair, had that really good angle covered until he was forced to push. He put up 800 damage there. Stalker didn't get the angles, got picked out by the Lerms early. Yeah, I mean, good damage on NAF's side, but ultimately they lost due to taking an incorrect cap. Unfortunate. Alright, so I don't know if the teams need to make any adjustments other than, you know, don't stand on their own cap, but we'll see what the teams do. Are we going to see another LRM deck from the Sabers, or are we going to see them play more of that ER large? I mean, Alpine Peaks, you can also kind of try to brawl on it, fast brawl. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of everything today. Redrops due to disconnects, players coming back, trying to fight it out. Somebody team takes the wrong cap and it ends up being the victory condition. This is some wild times here, and you're all lucky to be seeing this. Good thing we got it on film. Nobody believe us otherwise. Let's just popping the map strat back up here. Maybe teams will play things differently, maybe not. So what we've got out of NAFF, they took range positions. Oh, come on, I'm trying to change colors here and it's not letting me. Okay, NAFF, they took some range positions. I like their range positions. They're good range positions. Yeah, they put the one mech up on the mountain, and then they moved up into this Hotel 6 India 7 location. It's a that was the one where they got Lerm to death, because that is finally where they put something within the LRM range. Sabers, they mostly just sat in a box behind cover. They did make some early initial moves towards Sigma, and then they kind of backed off. They had that disconnect. It was unfortunate, you know. Light mechs were narking. It's good to see. We had some movement from Attilas from NAFF, where he was doing some cap stuff. I'm not sure on the exact route. I think he might have taken the top and then went around to Epsilon to back cap. It was a good move. Got them to the 2 cap. They ignored Sigma, which I was saying was going to be the contested cap, and they made it instead Epsilon the contested cap. You take what you can get. I really liked the Corsair's position covering Epsilon once they realized it was LRMs. Sorry. Out by Fox 6, he's kind of outranging the LRMs and having Epsilon covered, but everything went to the the entire plan, everything just kind of fell apart when there was a little mistake taken around Theta. And Theta, it's a part of the map you naturally move through, because it's midway between Epsilon, Sigma, and Kappa. I mean, like, you know, it's where you go. And there's some cover around there from the LRMs, but you stand in that cap too long, and all of a sudden there's a big timer starting against your team. And ultimately, Sabers managed to keep someone alive. It's an unfortunate situation. It'd be nice if we had the options in these private lobbies to turn caps on and off, so that we could turn off Theta so people can't accidentally take it. But we do not have that ability as players of this game. 3-cap format, it's fun, exciting. It allows you to play with less than 8 or 12 mechs on the field, so you can have these 5v5, 6v6 tournaments. But then you have to play with some caps that people are getting warned not to step on, and sometimes things just go wrong. Hate to see it, love to see it. I mean, it's that wild, chaotic element where NAFF was, I think, in the driver's seat there. Even though they had lost a stalker, I think the rest of their mechs had the advantage with positioning, range, builds, everything. But it goes down the other way. So teams have switched sides. I need to switch logo sides before I forget. So neither team's readied up yet. This is we're just switching sides, playing the same map, but teams get the opposite spawns. So sometimes on some maps, the one side is considered better for certain strategies. We'll see what teams do here. Neither team's readied up yet. Neither team has full players in the lobby. We're dealing with internet connection issues, and so we're just going to stand by, allow the teams to do their thing to get ready. I'm not in a rush. I hope nobody else is in a rush here. Things are just going to take a little bit longer today. Okay, so teams are getting into the lobby. Looks like they're probably going to be readying up soonish. Okay, Team 1 locked in at 360 tons, the maximum. Team 2 is sitting at 360 tons, but they have not locked yet. There's some internet connection troubles today for Sorenson Sabers, a few of their players, so we'll see what happens. But looks like they're probably just going to ready up here at the 360 tons. Hopefully we get through a drop without any disconnects. So far we have one redrop due to a disconnect and 2 disconnects in the other 2, like a disconnect in each of the other games. There has not been a drop done successfully yet without a disconnect, and we have 2 drops completed, that is all. So it's a bad internet day for some people here. Team 2 is locked, 360 tons. Each team is taking the maximum amount of tonnage. We're doing 3 cap Conquest on Alpine peaks. Okay, looks like everybody's connected in. We're getting a drop underway here. I'm looking at NAFF here on the blue team as teams have switched sides. Hopefully I remember to switch the logos too. I believe I did. We have an awesome 9M. That is, what is the build? 3 ERPPC. We have a Crab 27. ERPPC. Okay, yeah, they gave that thing insane PPC quirks. It's got like 60% velocity or something insane. So those are almost hit scan PPCs on that Crab. Weapon mounts are low though. Lamalanchi Banshee Hero. It has Light Goss 3 ER Peep. I think it has a heat scale limit +1, so it can alpha that. And then it's got a massive amount of range quirks. I don't remember if it was like 15% or 20%, something stupid high. So it's just going to be sitting in the back farming damage. 60 ER large stalker. We've got a Javelin 11A as a light mech. Let's see if I can pull up the build. Yeah, 7 ER meets, okay. And then we have a Locust 1V. Locust 1V, that's a machine gun variant. It's engaging on this Pirate's Bane. Pirate's Bane, interesting pick. It has ECM as the hero mech. So we have, you want to get out there in that Pirate's Bane though, because the Javelin is coming as backup. Trout is running. Will his precious little legs make it around this corner? I think he will. I believe in him. Go Trout, go. 73%. Ooh. One more burn coming up here, or has he made it to cover? He's made it to cover. Well, a little bit of tickle damage, but he's still running, so he's okay. Rest of Swords and Sabers, they are moving up to play around that Sigma cap. We're seeing an Enforcer 4R. That is probably going to be an ER large build. Yeah, 4 ER large. He's got the AMS on there. They are concerned about the possibility of LRMs. We've got Stalker 5S, that is 5 ER large with 2 AMS, okay. 6 ER large on the other Stalker, and a Stalker 70, 5 ER large. So a variety of Stalkers. Yeah, a little bit of difference in some builds, a little bit of AMS, just kind of given that, acknowledging the possibility of LRMs. And then for the lights, they've got the Small Pulse and Trout. I did not look at his build. What is he packing? 4 Small Pulse, 2 machine gun, okay. And there's machine gun quirks on Locust. I don't know exactly what's what, but yes, we'll have enhanced rate of fire on those, I am anticipating. And I did not get the build on the Locust over here for NAFF. I'm just going to pull it up quick. Be a little bit completionist. Oh, he's running ER large and 3 light machine guns. So the Locust 1V is quirked for cooldown on that ER large, or large lasers in general, or maybe just energy in general. It's something like a 40% cooldown, so it fires almost the same rate as if you had 2 of them on there. So that is definitely a range advantage in the lights. Small pulse and machine guns for Sabers versus ER large, light machine gun, and ER mead for NAFF. So they're bringing a little bit of assistant firepower in that mid to long range on their lights to help out against the Sabers range traders. Now, Sabers range traders are set a little bit too tight, close to each other. They're not really overwatching. Um, well, they're a little bit too stacked on this hill. Makes it difficult to get those angles. Whereas over here you see NAFF, they're spreading two mechs up on the mountain, and then those are TPCs up there, and they have low mounts on that crab, so he needs elevation to clear for shooting. And then the Awesome's got 3 ER peep. He's got a strike coming in on him. We'll watch a little bit later, maybe look at damage on him. Banshee taking an extremely long range position using its range quirks. It's going to have a really good view of the map up on this mountain top. You can see just about everything. You probably see both Sigma cap when he walks forward and Epsilon cap when he walks back. And then they're playing their lights a little bit closer to Sigma, just kind of watching it, and they've got the Stalker up here on the hill as well, overwatching the Sigma cap, but also it has an additional trade angle on the Sabers Stalkers, which are all stacked on this one hilltop. They're actually backed off behind the hilltop. I guess they feel they're not winning their trades, so they're not really trading. I mean, they're kind of peeking one at a time here. They want to be peeking more as a group and having additional angles. You could put a stalker on this hill, for instance, which is probably going to have ability to shoot at the Awesome and Crab over on that big mountain, or you could try to crab some stalkers up the back here, or even just move closer towards Sigma. I don't really like this hill, but it does get you an additional trade angle. And that's what Sabers are definitely going to need as this game goes on. They need to find additional trade angles. I have a movement here from Sorenson Sabers. They've gone past the turnoff. I don't know what this is. I thought maybe they're going to come up here to try and jump the Crab and the Awesome, but they've gone past that. And are they going to try to sneak Epsilon? Because there are mechs near Epsilon. Are they going to try to jump the Banshee from behind? I mean, they are going on a 3-hour tour to get there, but, I mean, who's going to spot them? Like, why would you be looking out to the middle of nowhere? But it might work. We'll have to see. It'll be another 2 minutes before we find out. Yeah, so what we've got here, okay, so they're getting additional angles with the... He's not disconnected, is he? Oh, no. Oh, no. Shea Archer standing and staring at the wall again. There is torso movement, but something's wrong here, because that is not... he was dealing with packet loss disconnects earlier, he was saying, so maybe he's just reconnected here. Not sure what's going on there. Master Baggins, he's been trading, but I don't... Now, damage is spread. Jimmy's coming over. So, they've still got lots of armor. Trades are going relatively evenly. I mean, this Awesome's at 77% here, 74. He's got red torsos. Crab's still fresh, but these trades are looking relatively even. Now, here's the play. It's finally occurring, but they've been spotted. And Sorenson Sabers, they've been spotted. The Banshee's going to be prepared for them because it looks like maybe the Banshee was a target, or maybe I missed it when they tried to go for Epsilon. Epsilon's covered, though, from that Awesome Crab. Well, they'd have to reposition, so maybe there was a chance. But so the Banshee knows they're coming, and we'll see how Metillus reacts to the news that he has some small pulse laser lights coming for him. He is coming off the mountain. He's been forced off the mountain just due to the possibility of getting jumped. He is looking for the safety of his lights to cover him, and his teammates will also be able to get some covering fire onto him with Man Boobs 4 in that Stalker. So Metillus has been displaced from his mountainside perch, but he is in no actual danger at this point. Trades are, well, the Stalkers are repositioning. They are done trading, 67%. They are looking for a new position, and I think that is intelligent because the Sabers do need to get a cap. It is 460 to 250 right now, and this is the cap that is available to them over at Sigma. So they can't sneak Epsilon, so they're moving their bigs over to make a play for Sigma. Now the lights, can they get out? They could get out the same way they came, but that is a 3-hour tour. That is too long, I do believe. I don't think they have the time to make another one of those big flanking plays. Now, the Trout's going in. The Trout already has an open leg, if I remember correctly. Early on, he was... Oh, wow, they picked off the Locust before. Trout gets legged for it, so they're trading locusts here. Now, Raifu needs to stay alive. Rafu needs to stay alive because he is the last light for the Sabers, and they are in a situation where they need a light to get on the cap. He is open leg. He is dodging PPCs like a maniac over here. But those stalker lasers are a little bit harder to dodge, and he's got a javelin on his tail as well. And the javelin's much fresher. The build advantage is for Rafu in a brawl, but they can't brawl out in the open with supporting fire. That just would be disfavorable. So Rafu is about to go down here near the Epsilon cap. Just got caught out in the open trying to get away from that lengthy flank attempt. So the Sabers need to make a play for Sigma. They are trying for that right now. Jimmy's the guy who has to do it because they have no lights remaining. The Sabers are just getting here. Jimmy's taking a path where he's taking a little bit of extra damage though. And let's see what he's got. Now this Enforcer, all the weapons are in that left side, torso and arm. He doesn't have anything open yet, Jimmy. He's at 66%. I don't think he wants to trade anymore. He's trading like 1v4 or something as the archers are just getting into the fight. Jimmy's got an open leg now. And the caps are just coming up on 600 for NAFF in their favor. The Sabers need to be on Sigma like ASAP, and I mean, I don't know if a 2 cap to 1 situation still does it for the Sabers here. I don't think so. I think they actually need that 3 cap scenario. So they need to get on Sigma to stop the bleeding and buy them a little bit more time to win their trades, get the kills, and then push for Epsilon. And their bleeding percentages here, they're not in very favorable positions trade-wise. Kind of all stacked up on one hill again. Big strike coming in. Jimmy, he's open leg, open side torso, open arm, and at least some of his lasers are in that arm. Jimmy's making the big move. He's trying to get up that ramp. He should have jump jets, and he goes down. There's that ridge here. You need jump jets to get up that ridge, or you have to take an exposed ramp or a further back ramp that also is fairly exposed. So he tries for the cap. He goes down. 660 caps in the favor of NAFF right now. Shea Archer is going down in that stalker shortly. 43%. Yeah, he is open CT, open side torso, open leg. Master Baggins, he's on the disfavorable end of some trades there. Open CT. Magnetron, only his arms open, but still 72%. Not looking the freshest. Baggins dodges the strike. Good play there. You can see the strike coming in, get out of that angle. But the mechs are just too fresh for NAFF, and the NAFF just has a cap advantage as well. So Stalker's open CT on man boobs. Awesome is open CT and armor for Cranect, sorry. And then the crab, 70%, it looks like he's smoking, so something's open. It's just an arm, though. I don't know if the PPC's in the arm or not. But they're making the final push here. They're about to win, a couple seconds away on the cap win. They're going for a quick kill, right before the game ends. Can they get the kill? Oh, yes, they do. They do get 1 kill. Master Baggins, he's going to live here. But this has gone the way of NAFF. NAFF has picked up another win. So it's 2 wins for NAFF versus 1 win for Sorenson Sabers, and the Sorenson Sabers win was on a rulebook aspect there with an incorrect cap having been taken. The trades were relatively even here, but ultimately NAFF they had the cap control. So yeah, what we're seeing here, as I was thinking, trades relatively even, a little bit lower on Jimmy and the Enforcer, and Magnetron and the Stalker, a little bit higher on Shea Archer, who looked like he might have been having internet troubles. But then when you're looking at the opposing team, Crab, awesome. I mean, the Javelins put out 3 kills with 460 damage. The ER Meads allowing him to participate in combat a little bit more than the small pulse lasers were allowing for Rafu and the Trout. Locust only put up 115 before he got picked off. Very fragile mech. He managed to found himself in trouble getting jumped there. So yeah, but the trader's a little bit higher on NAFF, but not outrageously so. They did have a little bit better trade angles though, I do believe. Okay, so we're switching maps now to HPG Manifold, which is still feels like a new map. It got reworked this past summer, maybe, I don't know, 8 months ago or something, but um, haven't played a whole lot of comp on it yet at this point. And tonnage is also going up for that drop to 420 tons. That map kind of just lends itself to extreme range trading at this tonnage. I'm going to pull up a map strata on it and we can go over it quickly. Okay, HPG Manifold. You've played it in quick play. In quick play, people just kind of, everybody just runs toward the middle and plays kind of in the bowl, or perhaps more accurately, even they play toward the top right around theta, but theta's in the basement. Typically, teams in quick play don't play in the basement. Typically, they play on the elevated ground, and then of course there's your snipers. Everybody likes to complain about the snipers who are sitting up on the wall and just in various locations shooting down into the bowl. Now, we're not doing that in comp quite the same. It's 3 cap. We have kappa, epsilon, theta as the 3 caps. And again, theta's in the basement. It's the middle of the map neutral point. Now, our team's actually going to be playing for that, or are they going to be, do they want to send their team to the basement? Or do they want to be playing on the top, on the wall? Because those are two different strats. If you put mechs on the wall, you can't really contest the basement as easily. And if you throw everything in the basement, what happens is you kind of end up giving up the epsilon cap and the kappa cap. So I don't think we're going to see basement strat, but we might. I don't think we're going to see. I'm not sure if we're going to see a pure wall strat, but we might. If you do elect to play for theta, you have to take a cap on the side with your lights, and then when the opposing team decides to move between the epsilon kappa cap, you run out of the basement and you jump them. But that's a risky strat, so I don't know if we're going to see it. I think we might just see a whole bunch of wall traders. And so what that's going to look like is just I'm not entirely sure where the ramps are and where the high points are. I believe, yeah, we're going to see range traders probably up on the wall. For both teams would be my guess, and then a smaller hit squad trying to control cap points. So we'll see what the teams actually do. But I'm thinking we're going to see a couple assaults up on the wall, and then a bunch of mediums and lights trying to do basement stuff. So teams are basically locking in here. They're 420 tons, the maximum, and just wait for the last of the lock ready up. Hopefully you don't get disconnects. Hopefully it's a clean game. But things have not been going the team's way today. So if we do see low ground, there's actually trading positions on these ramps that teams could be electing to play kind of mid-rangey, or we could see some pushes going from the gates and trying to get up on the walls and various ramps that you end up kind of seeing. There are options, but I'm expecting range trading. So we'll see what happens here. Alright, teams are coming in. Doesn't look like anyone's disconnected, so hopefully it stays that way. I'm looking at swords and sabers on the red team here. We have a Crusader crawl, and we have a hold called. Ah, great. Alright. So we'll stop running through the mechs then, and we'll wait for players to reconnect. So these are some of the trade positions I was talking about. You've got these large pillars. You get some good side peaks from them for assault mechs. Some of these gaps have bridges. Some of them do not. And I can't remember on the mini map which ones do and do not. This is a wide bridge. Okay, I need to keep that in mind. Then you've got these narrower arch bridge, and so some of those allow for team mobility on the wall in order to get additional trading positions on these various blocks and rounded hill corners that you see scattered throughout this map. And then you end up with a giant gap and you can't walk across that. And assault mechs do not typically have the jump jets to cross that. Maybe the executioner would or something, but your standard assault mechs do not. And it's more or less mirrored map, very, very similar on both sides. Some interesting things is that if you fall off the back into this particular region, you die because it's out of bounds, and there's no way back up, no ramp. Not that you'd have time in 10 seconds to get on the ramp, but so don't fall off. Don't fall off anywhere, because here you fall off, you live, and it's awkward because you have to take another minute getting back up a ramp. Here, if you fall off, it's deadly. So don't do that. Yeah, so we've got the Kappa Cap. It's in a bit of a bowl pit here, kind of interesting, but it's a little bit outside the combat zone, typically speaking. You do see teams play around it, teams not play around it. And then we've got the Epsilon Cap is the other cap, also not quite as deep in a bowl, also a little bit out of a combat zone. Teams want to do a redrop. We're going to quickly go look at Theta while the teams are busy popping each other off and taking that one cap and all that jazz. Oh, we have an OK just go. Now, there isn't, technically they should be doing a redrop here because there isn't enough time left, but it's up to the teams. I'm not an official. I'm not a rules enforcer here. The teams can play however they see fit as long as both teams are accepting of the results. And yes, we do have the teams moving, so we're going to quickly get over there and start looking at these mechs. So, Sorenson Sabers, what did they bring us? They brought us a Flea 20. He's going for the basement, 5 small lasers. Atlas Brawl. Okay. Another Atlas Brawl. Third Atlas Brawl. We have triple Atli on the field, and they are definitely going to be brawling. They have no other way of playing that. Streaks, regular machine guns on that Crusader Crawl, so he is on light mech killing duty. And a Firestarter 8 small pulse. And what do we have on NAFF? NAFF is in the basement. They are going to be grabbing this here Theta cap, and he doesn't know if it's safe or not. We have a little bit more information. We know that the mech is on top of him, so he is safe. Snubnose PVC small laser. Another Snubnose PVC small laser, so 2 Phoenix Hawks, and they have a Crusader of their own. Hadn't seen any yet. Here it is, Snubnose PVC small laser. So they are definitely looking aggressive, skirmishy or brawly on those Crusaders and Phoenix Hawks. But they also have the Light Gauss ERPPC Cyclops, Gauss Ear Large Corsair, and then a Zeus 9S, the unconventional pick with 6 Ear Large. Okay. So they have 3 range trade mechs on NAFF and 3 skirmishy mechs on NAFF. So they've got a good spread. They've got those Overwatch wall positions. They are looking for the opposing wall traders, and they are not seeing opposing wall traders because there are none. And they should be starting to figure that out right shortly here. Now we have an ambush set up around Kappa between Trout and Master Baggins. They have streaks, machine guns, and small pulse lasers, and light mechs do not like getting hit by that. Rafi is doing the scouting with the Flea, and then the rest of the Atli are in the basement looking to brawl. So they are doing a basement strat here out of Sorenson Sabers. So this is some wild times. You want to be watching entrances, but you want to use your seismic for that more than yourself peeking out. Now, NAFF probably would take a little bit of time to figure this out, but they should know something's up because they have not seen traders, and it's several minutes into the game. So they know something's up by now. They're smart enough to figure it out that, hey, if we haven't seen any wall traders like 3 minutes into the game, maybe they don't have any wall traders. And then if they don't have wall traders, what do they have? Well, they might have stuff in the basement. Do you want to go check? Not really. Or do you want to try and grab a cap? And they are looking to try and grab a cap. Now, how careful and cautious are they going to be while doing that? They have the one mech up on the wall. Yeah, that's probably going to give it away. The wall mech should be seeing the swords and sabers. Yes, he has. Now he's turning and running because he knows better than to play with this ambush crew. Crusader's going to have trouble keeping up with those Phoenix Hawks. And those Phoenix Hawks, they do have to find a cap at some point. NAFF does. But they don't have to face check into a Crusader and Firestarter to do it. Now they know there's a Crusader Firestarter, and what are they doing with their own Crusader? He should not be coming closer. He should be backing out. So Crawl does not have jump jets, if I remember correctly, so he can't get up on the wall very easily. There aren't any ramps around here. So the easy way to defeat this is what they're doing. They're putting the two Phoenix Hawks up on the wall, and they should be taking... Well, they're dropping down. Well, why? You have free fire onto that Crusader with your stunless PPCs. You don't have to be dealing full damage because you're dealing partial damage versus no damage. And you could just whittle them away. Yeah, they've even brought the Cyclops over. They're putting damage onto that Crusader Crawl from Sorenson Sabers. The ambush, if you spot it, they keep dropping mechs down. That's not the correct way to play this, but they're going to end up losing a mech if they're playing it like that. It's a little bit too aggressive. They have the advantage. There's no reason they need to drop down or push in through the gate with the Crusader. They have all the time in the world to farm them from the wall, and this Crawl would be completely unable to respond. They do pick a leg off that Phoenix Hawk. Looks like he might have gotten stuck or something. Maybe just didn't have enough jump jets to get back up. He gets picked off for his arrogance of trying to engage on the ground. Should have used his range advantage on the wall. But Sorenson Sabers, Master Baggins, he's almost legged. Trout's also not looking fresh. Rafi's coming over to back him up, but they're all just bailing out. And what them leaving is going to do is they're going to concede the cap. The cap point is now going to be taken by a Phoenix Hawk, and the cap advantage has now flipped in the favor of NAFF, and the damage advantage as well. Sabers did get the first kill, but NAFF no longer has to push into the Theta, which means these Atlases are going to be having to find a way to do something, and I don't know what that is going to be. Pushing out and trying to push up onto the wall is going to be an insurmountable task.
Command, we have possession of Kappa.
So I'm not sure what the Sabers are going to figure out here. They are sending a mech for that Epsilon cap. The back cap has been... Nobody's watching it. So the Sabers, can they get this cap before somebody comes over to shoot Rafu? I mean, it's very hard to hit a flea when they're tucked in like that. Yeah, there's the Zeus. Zeus is bringing his ER large over, but he's maybe a little bit late. And is he looking? Or is he expecting to get jumped? He's checking his back before he checks the front. Maybe a smart decision. I mean, there is still a Crusader and a Firestarter out there somewhere. Going around Gamma. Gamma's not a legal cap, so did not step on it. That is the right decision. So Rafia's got a strike on him. It's behind him. He does not see it, but he's already managed to get the cap, and he's getting out. Those ER large are not going to pick his leg off. There's a lot of dodge, duck, and weave that a flea can do with that mask. The Light Gauss ERPPC had a better chance of taking a leg off, but Rafu has made it out safely. Can he dodge? Yes, he is dodging the Crusader. He's dodging everything. Wow. There he goes. He made it to the basement safely. But now Epsilon Cap is once again available. The Phoenix Hawk is going over to take it. So can Sorenson Sabers sneak Kappa, or is Kappa actually being overwatched now? So we have the Firestarter from the Trout waiting. As soon as they leave Epsilon, he might be going in for it. Caps are in favor of Sorenson Sabers, but they are not going to have cap points in their favor, so they're going to need to find something again. It looks like they're headed for cap, but the Corsair is there. Rafu's getting shot at. There's Gauss rifle on that there Corsair, and I don't like exposing my light mech to Gauss rifles. Then there's light Gauss ER-Peep on that Cyclops, so yeah, this cap, no, he's not going to be able to take it. He's not going to risk it. He needs to keep his legs alive because the Trout in his Firestars already has an open leg. Trout's going for Epsilon, but we're going to continue watching Rafu here. Yeah, the Trout's on Epsilon. He's got mechs coming for him. It's going to be one of those Phoenix Hawks going for him, and it's going to be the Zeus shooting down at him. And yeah, there. Oh, he's staying on the cap. He had an open leg, so he's going to probably be legged right shortly here. And yeah, there the leg goes on Trout. Trout's lost a leg. He's getting shot by ER large from that Zeus, and he also has a Crusader with Stunless PPC and small lasers on him. The Trout is going to die, and he did not successfully get the cap. Oh, he did leg. Was that the leg off of the champion? Sorry, off the Crusader. Yes, the Crusader is legged. McLean's mech is legged. So the Trout did pick a leg up back up, but they still have to find a third cap here, the Sorenson Sabers do. Now, there's only 3 minutes left in this drop, 3.5 minutes. There should be more time, but because of the disconnects, okay, the Atlases are pushing. The Atlases are coming. Sorenson Sabers, they have decided to make a move here because they do need to make a move. Their assault mechs are joining the fight for the first time. Tolok has gone and he's exposed to incoming fire. He's pushing up the ramp, or what is he doing? Jimmy's going for the cap point. Now remember, this Crusader's legged. He cannot run away from that ally. Master Baggins in his Crusader is beat up, but he still has his legs. And Magnetron, okay, so they have a split push. Tolok is pushing the wall, and Rafu, is he legged? No, he's not legged. Is he disconnect? No, he's not disconnect. Okay, so he's staying alive. Tolak, he's getting there's a mech in front, there's a mech behind, so he's getting back shot. He's twisting. Nope. Metillus turned to fight down onto the cap. This is a desperation push, all or nothing. Tolak is distracting, cutting off the Corsair from joining the main fight. McLean's Crusader finally goes down. GI Jimmy, he's going to go for that cap point. He's a big fat mech though, and he's open in the back. Now, can he get that cap point? No, because he's going to keep getting tickled. It's going to be very difficult for such a large mech. No, Rafu's coming in. Rafu is going to do the capping. Rafu can hide behind the cap point from those ER larges and try to take the cap. GI Jimmy cannot. His mech is too fat. So Rafu's coming in. He's going to keep his legs alive, playing at a safe direction here, but he needs to make that cut eventually. And GI Jimmy's going to need to get off that cap to let Rafu get it. Tolak goes down on the wall, made a valiant stand there, bought his team some time, but these mechs are too fat to cap against that ER large Zeus. Rafu is not going for the cap. He's going for back shots on the Zeus. Okay. Oh, this is tight. This is tight. I mean, we've got mechs on the wall. This Corsair, he is beat up, but he is still all his weaponry. Now, this is the play. This is the one that matters. It's a lot easier to scratch mechs on a cap with ER large than it is with Gauss and PVC. So, if this Zeus goes down, then the flea has a decent chance of getting the cap. We're in the last 50 seconds here. This is do or die. The cap has been decapped. Wow, I did not notice. Epsilon is not capped. There currently is one cap to one cap type situation. Whoa, Magnetron was, he was getting some cap points on that before he got stopped. Actually, it is the blue team here. NAFF needs to be taking a cap. They are dropping to go for Theta, but they are getting jumped here. Jimmy is coming in on that Metillus in that Cyclops. Metillus needs to make it to the cap point on Theta within the next... No, he's not going to make it. He doesn't have the speed. This is going Sorenson Sabers' way. They managed to get the decap. The decap was all that they needed. They actually did not need to take that cap. They just needed to decap it. And if any blue team... The blue team needs to be off the wall 10 seconds. No, they are not near a cap point. This is a Sorenson Sabers victory. They pull off the cap point due to time. And yeah, we did have a disconnect situation here that burned up some of the clock. but ultimately, both teams agreed to play to it, and this has gone to a cap win for Sorenson Sabers on the timeout. All kinds of crippled mechs here. The Atlas push worked. They got the decap by standing an Atlas on the cap point. And that is due to the Zeus being turned by the Flea coming up for the backstab. Wow. And we got a match here today. Match is tied up, 2 drop wins for each team, and we're seeing a little bit of everything. Damage totals, Magnetron lower damage total, but I believe he was the mech that decapped the cap, so that is the winning play there. Tolax sacrifices mech to get the stop. Jimmy's doing some brawling, doing some attempted capping. Rafia's pulling moves. Everybody's doing something here. We have top damage coming out of Trent in the Zeus. But the Phoenix Hawks picked up the kills on the lights. I mean, wow, everybody's doing work here. Nobody's underperforming, really. And we just had a wild match there. Just absolute wild good times with the basement strat. Okay, so we do it one more time. This is the 5th drop will decide the match. And teams are switching sides, but we're doing the same map, HPG Manifold. We're doing the same tonnage, 420 tons per team. So we're going to see different strats now. Like Sabers, they're not going to run a basement strat again. They already burned all their Atlases, right? I don't know. Are we going to see NAFF run a basement strat? Or are they just going to play some more range trading? Because they've been trying to play range trade for most part, and this is a range trade map in my opinion. There are alternative options on it, but I prefer the range trade on this map. But I don't know. We just saw a basement strat win, so like I can't tell you what's going to happen. With these teams, the way things are going, the way they're playing, the crazy strats, just making it work, forcing the Atlas push to decap with an Atlas. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing. It's good times though, so thank you teams for showing us some stuff. Alright, teams are switching sides here. I gotta switch logos before I forget. So I feel sorry for everyone who's viewing a different match or they're stuck playing a match because these have been some entertaining drops today. I mean, these are some of the drops of all time. And it's not that teams are making bad decisions, like things are just interesting situations are occurring. Like neither team's making severe serious mistakes. It's just that these scenarios are so close, so unknown. Wow. Good times. Best of MWO comp right here tonight. So if there had been more time on the clock last match, if they had done teams had done a redrop, or if there hadn't been a disconnect, which would have been the ideal situation, um, would that last drop have turned out differently? Like, I don't know, because both teams were getting pretty beat up, so who was going to be going down was becoming a question mark. So yeah, that was, oh man, that was a wild one. Wouldn't have minded if there's a little bit more time to see how it would have played out, but at the same time, both teams agreed to playing it out without a redrop, and I don't think that was necessarily the wrong. I mean, HPG Manifold, the 15 minutes for those big heavy assaults to be trading with each other, sometimes doesn't feel like enough time. And so these teams, without doing the redrop, they only had around 12 minutes of that. So I don't know. It wasn't necessarily clear cut that Sabers only won because time ran out. They still had fighting mechs in fighting positions. All right, here we are going into another drop, redoing it. Teams to switch sides. 415 tons for the Sabers, 420 tons for NAFF. Okay, teams are coming in. Hopefully we don't get disconnects. Swords and Sabers. Am I looking? No, I'm looking at NAFF. Okay, what does NAFF have here? They have brought Corsair 7A. That is their third time bringing that mech, I believe. They seem to like it a lot, and it's not a bad trader. Yeah, no AMS on it, just Gauss ER large. They have an Orion. PPC like Gauss. Okay, so they're not brawl pushing. I got a little bit excited there. Zeus 6 ER large again. This will be that Gauss ER large. Yes, it is. Okay, and then they also have one Crusader. That is their last Crusader. Yes, small laser ER PPC this time, not Snubnose PPC as they were running on their Phoenix Hawks. Which Phoenix Hawk here. Yes, Snubnose PPC, small laser. Okay, Sorenson Sabers, they're doing stuff again. So yeah, we are not seeing them play range strats. The Phoenix Hockey's going to go basement. He's going to be all cautious, and nobody's going to be down there because Sorenson Sabers is running a hard pushing, no light mechs, no mediums. Everybody's small pulse. Another here is going to be small pulse. The Dragon's going to be Snubnose PPC with some SRMs. Thunderbolt, small pulse with a single Snubnose PPC, and then we have 7 small lasers and 7 small lasers. So yeah, that's a lot of armor, a lot of relatively fast mechs, and they are going to be hitting a brawl push here of some sort. They're going under the basement, so they've changed their angle of approach from the spawn a little bit, maybe, and then they're just going to all run basement. Now, this is what I want to see, is the Phoenix Hawk. How are you doing? How are you doing down here? You got Theta, you were all cautious approaching it, now you're leaving. You're not sticking around to see what, if anything, is coming, which is the correct decision, as it turns out, because what was coming was a bunch of really big, angry mechs. Just some fat meat slabs of punchiness. And yeah, no, the Phoenix Hawk does not want a 1v6 for some reason. I don't know. Maybe just isn't brave enough. If he believed, yeah, okay, let's be real. He's not going to win a 1v6. I'm sorry. So he got out. He declined to take a 1v6 that he didn't really know was coming for him. And so Sabers now have the 3 cap. They're all sitting. Are they all sitting basement? Yeah, they're going to sit basement, debate something out, then they're going to push to defend Epsilon. That is going to be their play. I'm fairly confident on that. Or they take Theta, then they leave, then they come back into Theta. Okay. I don't think they've been spotted yet. there's a fair bit of junk in between. I mean, yeah, just look at this. Yeah, I can't see anything. So I think they're undetected. But by now, NAFF is seeing, hey, there's no wall traders, and once again, they're going to know something's up, and they're going to know that this time it can't be Atlases because all 3 Atlases have been used up. So Sorenson Sabers are doing an ambush here at Epsilon, but NAFF has already seen an ambush attempt. Last time the ambush attempt was a single Crusader and a fire starter. This time it is a much larger force. Now, Shea Archer, you don't want to be spotted. You want to be, yeah, he's moving up, backing it up. Rafi's standing alone on the one side, so they're waiting for somebody to just nonchalantly come in here. Let's turn off that. So let's say that we're some little boy. We're walking through here in our flea, and oh no, that's what they're looking for. But nope. NAFF's not going to give it to them. They've gone ahead. They've put a mech up on the wall. They've spotted it out. They played it smart. Open head. He didn't have any armor, and then the strike did a point of damage. Okay. Yeah, nothing suspicious there. Just a little bit of strike damage to the head. But yeah, they didn't walk through the gate. They're playing this smart. They already saw an ambush one of the previous times. They smelled this, and they've done the smart thing. They've got a UAV up. UAV is going to give them all that information, exactly what the builds are on Sorenson Sabers, and that UAV lasts for, I don't know, I think it's around a minute, and it'll tell them exactly where Sorenson Sabers for that entire duration of that minute. But the Phoenix Hawk, is he going to go for, yes, he's going for Theta. So this is the other possibility, is that you send a mech to go for Theta, and then he gets jumped. And we're not seeing any movement from the wall traders out of NAFF. They are, I mean, the champions moved up to play more in the arena. Yeah, a little bit of walking, not much. So they're spreading on the walls, but they're not coming down from the walls. And Sabers need to get them to come down from the walls. And right now they're just sitting under a UAV. So the guy on Theta, he knows that, well, Sabers is starting to move his way, so he's going to get Theta, and then he's going to bail out. So Sabers will have to split their force. They're going to have to put some mechs to watch Epsilon, some mechs to watch Theta, or they have to find a pick, and they're not going to find a pick. And every time they're walking through this, they're now starting to take some damage from the wall mechs. It's not a lot of damage, but it is damage. Yeah, the champion's moved up. He's got an angle there for take 1 or 2 shots while they're transiting to Theta. Theta's been flipped. It's going to get flipped back very shortly. The Phoenix Hawk, yeah, he's definitely left. This champion's potentially vulnerable, but if Sorenson Sabers tried to push him, the guys on the wall would be able to put some damage in while the Sabers are trying to get that pick. So
Resource point Theta is ours.
all right, Caps are still in favor of Sorenson Sabers. They took minor damage on that cross. That's not the issue here. This Crusader is coming over. Now, will the Crusader drop down for that cap? I think that would be a mistake. I think you want to use the Phoenix Hawk. Nope. It's okay. The Crusader's going for the cap point, and now the Crusader doesn't have the speed of the Phoenix Hawk, so maybe the Sorenson Sabers could catch him on the push out. Are they going to go for it? Are they going to leave like 2 mechs in the basement, send the rest to go for Epsilon? What is their play? What is this champion doing? Okay, does he have seismic? That'd be a question that I would have, because seismic, it detects through the basement. There isn't I believe the range is basically, it's not a sphere. I believe that the range on seismic sensor is just a circle, or a cone as it is. Oh, they're pushing out. They're looking for that champion. They're not going to find him. Champion needs to turn around and run, and the Sabers are going to be taking damage here. I think that they're going to Kappa. I think they should have been pushing Epsilon. The ramp out here is not as favorable for, I mean, you're gambling on the path from Epsilon to Theta being covered by the range guys, and the path from Theta to Kappa not being covered, but the path is not as nice, and they've taken a fair bit of damage here. Yeah, Shea Archer's protecting his back because it's already opened. So Sabers are getting that 2 cap situation, but the pace of things has accelerated. They're using the champion now off of NAFF to get the basement cap, while the Crusader is grabbing the Epsilon caps. So they're getting these caps back faster, which is important because the Sabers did have that cap lead while they're rotating their 6 mechs back and forth. And now they no longer have that situation. This cap lead is going to dissipate quickly. Now, they're not going back to Theta. They are going to push around behind to try and pick the wall boys. I don't know if this is I don't know if they have time for this. Now is NAFF going to be looking? I don't know if they are. Where's the ramp up? The ramp, it's a big wide ramp over here. No, they're gonna look. They're gonna be looking. Yeah, you've already seen it. The Corsair sees him. The Corsair spotted it. He's putting out some weapons fire. This is some wide open terrain getting to the ramp. Now, NAFF needs to pull some of their mechs back away from the push that's coming, away from that ramp, and use some of their other mechs to put some damage out. Are they pulling back? I don't know if they're pulling back. This might be a 3v6 right shortly. NAFF is not pulling back. Champion is nowhere near the fight. Crusader's coming over, but he doesn't have jump jets. This Corsair is going to get absolutely pounded here. That Corsair, leg's already open. I don't know if he's running full leg armor based off one of the earlier matches. He's down. Jimmy is low percentage. They're going the wrong way. Turn around, go to the Orion, go to the Zeus. Orion, okay, the Orion's dropping. The Zeus is backing up. That ramp is getting in his way, though. He's not going to be able to shoot on the approach. Jimmy's 59%, but he still has both his legs, which is the only component that matters on these brawlers. CT's open on Jimmy, but he's got ear large coming at him now. It's not Gauss rifles anymore, so he can spread that damage. And that Zeus is being forced from the wall. Now the Sabers have to drop down and go after that Zeus on the bottom, on the ground. And that Orion's not far enough away. The Zeus is lagged. The Zeus is going to die right shortly here. Yeah, caps are in favor of NAFF. They are ticking. They're getting Kappa while this is all going on. They're losing their range wall boys. Jimmy goes down. Shea Archer's been legged. That Orion is getting away. Oh, the Orion's lagged. No, he's not going to get away. All right, Rafi is taking damage. The champion's in position now. So I would send 2 mechs after the Orion and 2 mechs after the champion. Because you need to drop that Orion. That Orion is shooting this entire time while they're running. Now, of course, could argue, oh, they're going basement now? I don't think you can play caps anymore. You have to go kills. Oh, no. Okay, they have a legged Orion, but they can't go to him anymore because he's covered by the champion. They've got their 3 mechs in the basement, but they only have 1 cap point with that. Rafu is looking hurt in those rear torsos. Hank Reardon and the Dragon out of Magnetron both looking okay. Mamboobs in his Orion is lagged, but he has the range. He can play this corner. And as long as that caps are a situation now where Sorenson Sabers need to use some of their mechs to go get another cap point while not losing Theta. That is going to be, oh, this task is this is a difficult task. Yeah, Champion's fresh, hasn't been, you know. Phoenix Hawk is over here just doing cap duty. I don't know where he's going now, but that Phoenix Hawk is absolutely fresh. So I believed there for a second. I really did. And I guess the champion just got into position, put out too much damage before. Yeah, Rafi is pushing out. Back's open. He's got to be very, very careful there. The Orion. Oh, man. Rafi keeping it twisted. Okay, he's made it out. The Orion might get a shot here. I'm not sure. Phoenix Hawk on the wall is going to be the next threat. Yeah, they can't make another push like that up onto the wall, I don't think. I think that the angles are going to be covered. They don't have the health remaining. They're going for a cap point here, but Rafi's charger's been halved, so he's moving slower now because he's lost a side torso. I'm guessing he's light engine. So they're going to get the second cap, but they're losing Theta while this is all going on. Sorenson Sabers is going to be down to 2 caps, and the cap situation is such that they definitely... I don't think they're in 3 cap territory yet, but NAFF has a cap lead. And they're going to have control over more cap points. And the Sabers just are out of mechs with speed and with armor in order to make the pushes that they require. This champion, he's backing off. I would... Well, maybe not. I think he should be back. The Orion is, I mean, he's lagged, he can't do a whole lot, but yeah, this is going to go in the way of NAFF. That was a heroic push. It almost worked. That was close. But the champion was located elsewhere, so they couldn't make that critical pick. And NAFF went and took caps while that was going on. So now the champion, he's potentially in trouble. I don't know if the Orion has an angle to cover him or not. He didn't back off the champion, Questia, so Questia? Questia. So yeah, okay. He's gonna go down. I believe he's gonna go down here. That champion's a dead man. He's legged. Hank Reardon looks like he's legged as well, though. Hank Reardon goes down before the champion does. Magnetron, both legs are open on that dragon. The Crusader's coming in with that 12 small lasers. That's, yeah. Can we get the champion kill or not? Well, maybe not. Champion's in cover. Rafi is legged. He's got a Crusader on him. Crusader, yes, it's got the ERPPCs, but it's also got a bunch of small lasers. So the Charger's actually outgunned by that Crusader. Oh, the Charger's coming in, but no, Rafi does not pick up the kill. So it does go the way of NAFF. NAFF wins the match, 3 drops to 2. Very good showing from Sorenson Sabers, though. They made us believe in them, and ultimately it doesn't go their way. Solid match, though. Solid match. Good showing from both teams. Yeah, we've got the carry coming out of Questia in the Champion 3N with that 1 Gauss 3-year large, 800 damage farmed there while his bigger boys were dying. He was putting in the work. I mean, capture time on the Phoenix Hawk. I'm going to give a mention there for capture time on the Crusader as well. Crusader also putting out a fair bit of damage in the fighting, just the ERPs giving some range, and then small laser cleanup. Sorenson Sabers, they brought an interesting strat with just 4 heavies, 2 assaults, no lights, no mediums, and they tried to play a cap control strat there in order to force the wall boys down, but ultimately they were unsuccessful due to some smart decision making and some excellent cap control out of NAFF. So NAFF picks up the match. The NAFF has takes the match 3 drops to 2. Sorenson Sabers still winless in the Inner Sphere Coalition 5 League. They've had good showings, though. They've picked up wins, Sorenson Sabers have, in terms of drops. So they're getting MC, but they're not getting their match win. So NAFF is actually looking in good position in the division. They've got 3 match wins in a row now. Margin was a little bit narrower this one than some of their other matches, but they do have a good position in the division with coming into the final weeks. We're starting to see which teams are taking a run at winning their division and which teams are struggling with that and maybe just looking more at picking up MC for drop wins. And unfortunately, Sorenson Sabers now, that's the position they're in. This was a fierce effort today. I like the brawling. I like the basement strats. I mean, this is not just wall trading. They did pull some other stuff out of the bag. Tried the LRM drop. I had not seen an LRM drop yet. They won the LRM drop, but that was on a win on a technicality as opposed to the LRMs actually pulling off the win. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens going forward with both these teams. Probably going to try and pick up another cast for both of these teams at least over the next 2 weeks. But that's it for me for today. This is the only match I'm casting this weekend. Last weekend was a little bit too much, and I got a little bit sick there as well with a little bit of a flu. So thanks for watching, everyone. This is it from me for today. Very interesting match for anyone who might want to rewatch that or share it with their friends. Like, go ahead, you know. But that's it. That's all. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for both teams for letting me cast, and catch you around next weekend when I will be doing some more casting.